and good Sunday
A new
morning,
severe
everybody.
thunderstorm warning
Meteorologist
has
Craig
been
Majeski
issued.
back with you here on the Weather Nerds YouTube channel with a severe weather update here for you for the next 3 days. We're going to be a little bit on the busy side. Of course, we had to deal with the ramifications of that major outbreak we had on Friday. The final numbers just kind of still coming in here, some 1,200 reports, 30 tornadoes. I think that number may go up a little bit. Obviously, everybody knows about the loss of life we had, and we still have several days ahead. We're going to watch out for some more active weather. Now, yesterday was not nearly as bad. Let's show you the storm report from yesterday. We went from 1,200 down to 200 and only had one confirmed tornado in Oklahoma yesterday. So that's some good news there. And so far today, just one report coming in out of Alabama. We're going to show you some of the active weather going on out there currently. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to have to be dealing with for today. Mostly going to be out into the middle of the country. So before we kind of get into this report, if you have not subscribed to the channel and you like to make these a part of your regular feed, just to get these regular updates so you can stay informed, stay prepared, and not scared, that's my motto here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It'll be an honor and privilege to be one of your weather sources out there in the YouTube universe. So let's go ahead and get into this. Again, we're looking at enhanced area, not a moderate, but enhanced area. We're looking here across Kansas, Oklahoma. So we're getting near the Oklahoma City area, up near Wichita Falls, and up there North Platte in Nebraska. So we got a couple of clusters we got to watch here for today. See, the marginal goes all the way down here into the southeast. We got a couple of clusters of storms I'm going to track for you here in a second to kind of show you what's going on with them. Now let's go ahead and break down the categories here right now. There's our wind threat, obviously running right through here. Let's go look at the tornado threat first here. Tornado threat first, boom. This is going to be our cluster zone here, running about 10%. So we're talking near Russell, Kansas, Wichita, obviously, north of the Oklahoma City area, so near Clinton, Woodward, Oklahoma, Arkansas City, and southern Kansas. So this whole area right in here, we'll be looking at your best chance for tornadoes. Obviously, we have the brown risk there, running about 5%, and the green running about 2%. Notice we don't have that quite down here into the southeast. Now, as far as the wind threat for today, that is going to be in these two clusters, obviously where that enhanced area we were just showing you. Those were the highest risks there for high winds. We're talking winds in excess of 60, perhaps 70 miles per hour. And our hail cluster will be right here obviously there is in Kansas and Oklahoma as well. Again, we're talking about Salina, Emporia, just north of Oklahoma City, and over here toward Nebraska. A couple pieces of upper level energy that's going to be kind of coming on out here and setting up. Now this storm system is one that's going to be leading to a major pattern shift. This is going to take a few days to clear. So this is your day one. Going into your Monday, we got a bigger area here, kind of moving into areas of Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, North Texas, and Arkansas. This includes Dallas, getting up to Springfield, Oklahoma City, again, Kansas City. So some major metropolitan areas on this going in for our day two. We'll go ahead and take a look at the categorical breakdown on this as well. You can see a fairly large tornado area, a lot of major metropolitan cities in this path, getting very close to St. Louis. Obviously, for those who don't know, we did have a tornado go through St. Louis, which we covered live here as it was going on through there, and hopefully they don't see a repeat on that. So that's our tornado risk here for tomorrow going into Monday. The wind threat, substantial, running about 30% here, a very large area in that enhanced zone near St. Louis, going all the way down toward Dallas, so a pretty big area there as well. And also looking at your hail threat, that will be generally in the same area. So we're talking a potential for hail up to about 2 inches there in those locations, 1 to 2 inches for the most part. Obviously, some localized heavier ones. We've definitely seen that. We had some of these ones, the other way, that moderate risk were getting up to 4 inches in diameter, but I don't think we'll be quite that high. I think this is going to be a little bit, not quite as strong, but we'll see. We'll see how it changes from day to day. And then finally, going into day three, the system begins to move off toward the east here, going into the areas of the areas of Kentucky, which is obviously still playing cleanup right now, Indiana, Illinois, southern Missouri. Then we got an enhanced area here going into areas of Nashville, coming down into the north of Birmingham, Huntsville in this, Columbus, Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi. We got a nice little cluster there. We'll have to track as it looks like these storms will be coming in late in the afternoon and coming in toward the North Georgia area, Dalton, and into Atlanta. Should be a decaying line coming in at night as this thing comes in and moves off toward the east. So as you can see, we've got 3 days of dealing and watching what's going to go on with the system. So you guys need to stay weather aware, stay prepared, not scared, be ready to act if you're in any of these zones looking for active severe weather. So let's go and look at the satellite imagery. What we're looking at right now is we're waiting for this energy here to kind of kick out of the Rockies here. We still got some pretty good jet stream energy coming in across the south. So we got there's a boundary sitting in here. So we got a couple clusters of thunderstorms here this morning across Arkansas and portions of Alabama, setting off some isolated severe weather out there right now. We've got 3 active severe thunderstorm warnings, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. With that, let's look at the bigger picture. There's those 2 clusters that you kind of see right there. Again, we got some severe weather here coming in. Looks like this should say south of Metro Atlanta, coming out of Alabama and into Georgia right now. And we've got another little cluster of storms here across Arkansas, the boundary just off to the north. So it's just kind of riding along near that, where that boundary is, or just the south of that boundary for right now. But we're really going to wait for what happens later today as that next system kind of comes out of the Rockies and starts to fire things up. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get up your latest forecast model data here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to switch over to my high resolution model here, make sure I got the latest and greatest for you guys. We're going to go out to the 6, I'm use the 60 so I can take it out for the duration of the event. So let me pull this out here a little bit. There we go. All right, so let's go over to the model data here. We're going to talk about the model data here, and we're going to see exactly where this stuff is going to be setting up for you real quick. So let me pull this up real quick. I forgot to grab it. Sometimes you got to grab it. So there you go. And we're going to watch this very closely. So again, watch that timestamp there in that upper right-hand corner as we kind of watch how things progress. Again, we got those 2 clusters of storms kind of riding in through Alabama, Georgia right now for this morning. But we're going to wait for the stuff to fire up this afternoon. Again, we're talking about 4, 5, 6 o'clock. So notice by 6 o'clock, that's probably, again, 5 o'clock Central, we're starting to erupt some storms here across Kansas and into Missouri around that time. And then, again, going into the evening hours. So this is your textbook spring weather stuff, late afternoon, early evening stuff. So this stuff will be going on here. Again, getting fired up here. Again, with the low pulling out, we got 2 clusters, obviously Nebraska, and then we got the other cluster here across Kansas that'll kind of tail end down here toward Oklahoma and Texas as this line continues to develop. So again, let's go pull this on out. You see that cluster's pulling on off to the east. Looks like a cluster of storms coming into the Dallas area there, getting toward midnight. And then you see the storms coming in through Nebraska and into Iowa. So this will go in overnight. You see it kind of move on off here, and then moving off toward the east as we're going toward our Monday. So seeing those storms kind of race off toward the east, and those will kind of weaken a bit as they go off toward the east through Monday. But then we got to watch for the redevelopment of activity here. We'll see it as we get toward later in the afternoon. Here's the next round starting to develop here, Missouri and through Arkansas. Again, as we go into day 2, we'll have 1 cluster. We'll have another cluster we have to watch. As this big low pressure system here, not quite as intense as the last one, but still a pretty good vigorous system here, kind of pulling on out as this pulls on off to the east. And then this will kind of pull on up. You see again, you get severe weather going through Kansas, going through Missouri, Arkansas. It's going into Monday evening. So it looks like we're going to have a very active period here. Same areas that got hit last time, pretty close, right in the middle portion of the country going in toward Monday. So folks just need to make sure they stay informed and be mindful of what the National Weather Service offices are putting up in your areas. Make sure you have your weather apps, your weather radios, and make sure you're prepared to go and ready to react should the worst come to your area. So what we're dealing with, again, we're getting toward the middle end of spring. So when we're in this time of year, you've got plenty of latent heat energy. So very moist and buoyant air mass. And so when you've got these disturbances that are a little bit cooler air masses that pull out and they bump into those, it's very easy to fire off the thunderstorms. It's like lighting a match. And typically it's late day when we get whatever little cap that might be in place busts, and we bust those thunderstorms and they start going once again. We're going to have to deal with that for today and for the next couple of days here across the area. So let me go back here. I want to show this one more time here. Let me pull this up for you. Again, if you're just kind of joining us here on this live broadcast, I want to show you one more time what you kind of can expect here for today. Again, we've got the 2 pockets of enhanced area that just showed you there with the pockets of severe weather. We're talking about coming in sometime around 5-ish, 4 or 5 o'clock. We start to get those areas erupting here. So you're going to watch the zones here across Nebraska and then across areas here across Kansas as those start to fire up. And then we'll have to go in and do it again for tomorrow. Again, we'll see the late day stuff start to fire off in those enhanced zones. Tomorrow, I'm going to watch closely. I don't know if it'll go moderate. It's borderline. It's borderline. It possibly could. We'll see what happens with that for tomorrow. I do think the day 3 is probably about right, as the storm will be weakening a little bit as it moves off toward the east. And then once this clears on out, we got a major pattern change here. It's going to be much cooler. Things are going to stabilize. Everybody will be able to catch their collective breaths. Wednesday, there might be some severe weather going off to the east here and going into your day 4. But again, just the next 3 days is really the big meat and potatoes here. And then we'll see things begin to cool off here across the eastern half of the United States. And the severe weather should take a little bit of a pause here for a little bit. All right, let's go take a look at what's going on out there right now on the big picture right now. We're going to look at the current cluster of storms we've got out there. We're going to look over here at the current conditions out there. We do have a couple storms we're kind of watching here. We do have some storms here
New
coming
information.
in toward
This
areas
severe thunderstorm
coming
warning
in
has
toward
been
out of
updated.
east central Alabama and just northwest central Georgia. This cluster of storms is going to slide south of Atlanta. Now, my normal local coverage area is North Georgia. So North Georgia, folks, you might see a few showers up that way, but the main thunderstorm severe threat is going to stay south. That's why I wasn't hyping it up on my local page for you guys, because it looked like this was going to fall basically between Columbus and Atlanta and Macon. That's where this cluster of storms was heading. And we do have a couple of warnings out there right now. Right now you've got Carroll County, Heard County, Troup County, and Coweta County going until 9:30. And then you got these in east central Alabama down here toward Lee County, Chambers County, Tallapoosa County, just north of Lee County there, getting in on the action as well. So these storms will continue to move off toward the east, kind of maybe a slight southeast. Is it kind of, if you're going to draw a trajectory out on this, kind of going out this way. So all these counties here, Thomaston, Woodbury, heading over to Macon. This is going to be the predominant zone, I think, where a lot of these warnings might be. We might get a little bit of these extreme southern counties here across metro Atlanta might get clipped a little bit. Strong gusty winds are going to be the big major thing to watch with these storms as these go by. Now, the other cluster of storms we're watching is back over here toward Arkansas. Let me switch the radars over to this one here. We got this one over back in Arkansas. This one doesn't look quite as bad, although this one looks like some pretty good hailers in this. Again, we got the warning here right now that's covering Prairie County, Lonoke, Desha, Monroe, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Arkansas County goes till 8:30. And these storms are moving southeast at 45. So this is very common this time of year. You get these big thunderstorms that'll kind of flare up during the day. They'll continue to ride off toward the east, and and whatever energy they got left, they'll continue to kind of ride off. And so we'll have to track this other cluster of storms moving across Mississippi and Alabama. Again, you're in that marginal risk corridor for severe weather, but the real big stuff, that's going to get fired up here again late tonight, and we're going to do it again for tomorrow. Now, as far as my severe weather coverage is concerned, probably going to be up for tomorrow. Don't know about today just yet, but if I do, I will be posting it in advance, so you can see that. If you are a subscriber to the channel and you already hit that notification bell, you'll be alerted on when those days will depart. Now, we'll do another update again tomorrow morning to give you the latest and greatest on what we expect for tomorrow. I think today will be an active day. I think we'll see that. But we'll also have, I think tomorrow might be a little bit more of an active day. Obviously, a lot more major cities are going to be in the pathway of this. Just to show you that these storms do mean business. I just noticed all these just kind of popped up in here. Look at all these wind damage reports here as it went through the Birmingham area. A lot of trees down. So this little cluster of storms has got some nice little strong winds with this, by the way. So I just kind of noticing here, you got trees blown down. Looks like 1 inch hail. Trees down, hail report down. Here's another hail tree down on Highway 11. So they mean business. They got a little punch to them. So you folks there, like in LaGrange Valley, Woodbury, Thomaston, just watch out. You might get some sporadic power outages with this. Again, not expecting anything tornadic with this little cluster of storms. It's just a little kind of a weak little upper level disturbance that's kind of riding off toward the east, and that's what's setting off that severe weather there. That's going to move south of Metro Atlanta and North Georgia should stay clear. But we're going to watch what happens for tomorrow. Again, I do appreciate you guys supporting our little channel here. Again, hit that subscribe button if you can, and be part of our Weather Nerds family. And we'll see how it goes for severe weather coverage either later today. Definitely for tomorrow. We'll probably be on for tomorrow evening once again as we watch and see what's going on. Oh, I'm glad you answered your question there. Again, typically when I do these live updates, I don't usually go a lot of the question Q&A stuff like we do. We're doing kind of a wall-to-wall live coverage. But Gabrielle, yeah, I did see you kind of pop up in there. And again, good morning to everybody, and appreciate you guys. Please share this update with your family or friends, anybody in the area, just to kind of keep them weather informed. Make sure that they're paying attention. Obviously, you kind of get wrapped up into the weekend, and you just don't know you're not paying attention, and you realize, hey, we got some busy weather here coming up here for today, as outlined right there. So we got the green zone with those two clusters of storms that we're dealing with this morning. Then we got to wait for this stuff to erupt here going into late this afternoon and into tonight. All right, that's y'all's morning update. Y'all be good out there. Like we always say, be prepared, not scared. We don't like scaring you to death on this channel, but we do want to make sure that you're informed and you're prepared and ready to react should the worst weather come into your neighborhoods. All right, that's it for now. We'll talk to you later. You guys have a great Sunday morning.